aspects of our life that I will talk about today. Very briefly, inshallah, I'll touch upon. That is, as Muslims, what goal do we have as a Muslim household member? For yourself, together with your spouse, and you as a family. Where do you like to see yourself from today till 5 years? Where would you like to see your family in next 15 years? And I carefully selected 15 years because those of us who have kids, about 5-6-year-old, they will all be 20 years and graduating. What is your goal for them? What is your goal for your community? Where would you like to see your community, your masjid, 15 years from now? What plans do you have collectively, DFW Muslim community, to be in next 15 years or 50 years? These are the things can only be done by individuals who are like you and myself, who populate the masjid on a regular basis, who have concern and aching heart for the community and wanting to do something for the ummah. So now that I have your audience, I wanted to make sure that I catch this opportunity by transmitting 3 responsibilities. 1, set long-term and short-term achievable goal for your family. Financially, you may have done it. For the education, you may have done it. But religiously, where do you want to see them in the next 15 years? Now, subhanAllah, if you want to leave today this world, where would our family be? Have you put together a plan? What will happen in our absence? Something to think about, wallahi. Until or unless we think, we may not do anything about it. And if we don't, we will continue to live our life that we've been, and look, in spite of us being never as big of a number in the history of Islam we are today, yet we have no wazn in the eyes of the people. Our blood have no value whatsoever. If an animal is there, the team will go to rescue, but our children are butchered, cut into pieces in Palestine, and nobody's there to cry for them. Did you ever wonder why this is happening? People who are calling to establish their own state on a Muslim land had no place. 63 years ago, they did not have an existence. But they had planned for 500 years, for 100 years. 1887 is when that small insert has been added into the commentary of the Bible in the footnote that we ought to have our own state. I'm giving you an example how people who plan and work diligently meet their goals. It was an idea. Somebody put it in writing, inserted in the footnotes of the Bible, and then printed those Bibles in the mass numbers, and it distributed throughout the world at no cost. And those priests was given an opportunity to be educated and emphasize on this aspect of creating a state. And thus they have mobilized a community whose prophet, according to them, has been crucified by them, and yet they are the sympathizer of the same. Used other community for our resources and established to what degree? You know, every single thing that nation says goes in our country. Land. 63 years ago, the shipful of those individuals came to American shore. They were not allowed to set their foot on the soil of America. They were returned back. Many of them didn't even survive. That was their position in the eyes of America. And what is their maqam today? Did this happen accidentally? Or was it planned? So, if we too also want to have some impact on the policy makers, impact on the decision makers, impact on the policies that matters internationally, we have to literally teach ourselves how to be effective through the use of our votes, exercising our rights of votes wisely, and being the voices of those who have no voice. You and I, as an American citizen, have this. Are we utilizing it to the fullest? So therefore the plan, the first step, Muslim American today, not going to wake up in the morning and see a totally different world. No. It did not happen for them. It took 63 and 67 years for them to get to where they are today. But if we have a plan to be somewhere, somebody has to start today. It may happen 20 years, 30 years, 50 years from now. But just because it is not going to happen in our lifetime, if we sit back and do nothing, let our next generation do it, then guess what? Chances are our future generation may not create meaning. With the plot that is being set, we may lose our children to this. And wallahi, do not think even for a minute, I'm talking to the crowd who understands that I'm blowing a hot air here. No. People who have done research, thesis has been put, books have been compiled. Islamophobe is a new crusade with millions of dollars invested. It is planned to do what? Not to convert Muslims to become any other person, no. But only to do a very simple thing, that is, distance them from the faith. How? They will not come in to you and me, as they've lost hope and they know that in few years they will be gone. They have high hopes for their children. What is happening? Doubts are being created in their minds about religion. Respect for the elders has been completely taken away. They are encouraged to think out of the box. Do as you please. And they're being detached from higher authority. They call it, that is, supreme authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the reality, and it is happening in broad daylight, right under our nose, with our own children in the schools. The question is, how many parents are available? How many parents really seriously have this conversation with their children? Furthermore, all this information that I'm bringing to you was not the research done by Islamic scholars, rather a Christian concerned priest who came to one of the gathering of the Imams and borrowed 25 minutes to talk about it. Ended up speaking 1 hour and 30 minutes. Why? Because we wanted to hear more. And he said that we as religious community are concerned losing our people to this godless society. But we have discussed this among ourselves. Muslims seems to be very serious about the religion. If we somehow can sell this to the Muslims, and if they join, we may be able to impact and save not only our generation but the second generation. That is the idea of non-Muslims about us. And yet, little do they know, we are literally unaware of what is happening. That is why planning is important. That is why thinking ahead is important. That is why asking yourself, what if I am not here tomorrow? What will happen to my children? How much have we worked into instilling the values of Islam in them? That nobody will snatch your children away from your family. Second, I really enjoy being an American citizen. I want its liberties to survive for my future generations. As much as I value American liberties, I am fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking me in the day of judgment. You did not do anything to have those constitutional rights. I made it happen. Not even a single Muslim was present. I made them right. That you down the line, centuries, decades later, was able to enjoy the freedom of your religion, freedom of your speech. What did you do with that freedom that I have? what answer are you going to give? What did you do to protect those rights? What answer are you going to give? For too long we have lived in isolation. That is not how you survive in civilizations. You have to become part and parcel and be impactful. And that is very important. And this America is so beautiful, you can sell anything. About 53 years ago, which was considered as a mental disease, written in the medicine book of mental situation, where they will be prescribed medicine to fix their mental status when they say they have attraction towards the same sex. It was considered as a sickness. Fast forward, something that which was considered as a sickness, physicians will prescribe medicine. Today, I dare any doctor say that you're sick, and they will continue to operate and will hold on to their license. What changed? Wishful thinking? No. Simply praying? No. What? Planning. In the beginning, they worked to take that out of the textbook as a sickness. They succeeded. In the second level, coming to 1973, they then said, accept this as a condition. Then they further moved forward. It is possible. They're having medical experts saying this. It is possible one to be perfectly normal and have such feelings. Normalizing, creating a new normal. To what degree that they would then have it accepted in the society. And they push further to have laws being passed. Further, laws have been put place the discrimination. And now further, it is being pushed and shoved through the throats of our children in the schools. Did they come to you and ask you to be one? No. But they go and tell the children. I read an article, how do they penetrate in this? They are actively seeking employment. They are being trained as teachers' assistant by giving them incentives to go under 3 courses, and that they're being placed as a teacher assistant on a volunteer basis. Schools are welcoming extra help. They don't have to pay. And these teacher assistants, not teaching the whole subject, not teaching the whole day, but rotate within the classes of younger kids, half an hour to 45 minutes, doing what? What is in this story? Parents of two parents of the same gender. Little kids not understanding what's going on, but being fed into it is okay to have such feelings. After having a series of these lectures, then they will put on what corner a small rainbow sign. And they ask, how many of you like rainbow? Would you like to see bigger one than this? They say yes. Well, there is one hidden in this room. Can somebody guess? The kids naively, innocently pointed. Well, let's see. We will look here. You look here, and finally they told me this entire flag. How do you like this flag? Should we hang? Yes, where should we hang? Here. How many of you would you like to have this at your home? Result? I'm just trying to understand. Result? These kids are being taught in silence. Parents are not aware of it. These kids grow from 7, 6 years age to 13 and 14. And we right to speak against them. Furthermore, I do counseling. I receive calls from domestic issues and social issues on my phone, and I address these issues. I'm not going to start crying. Saying that, Sheikh, or elder daughter, demanded her she should stop this. She said, I accept. I read it. If she wanted to, just take the whole. Second daughter, she's crying in this condition. I received. 13-year-old. What do you know at this age about this? We don't dare even talk about certain things like this in front of you, and you knew so much so that you are emboldened so much that you could come on my face and say this? I say America is beautiful because if America can allow people who do something that is very wrong and consider as a medical condition to be acceptable, and if you want to say anything, you'll be charged against. If something wrong like this can be completely changed into this, then how difficult will it be for Muslims to undertake this and change the narrative about Islam and Muslims is possible? If that is possible here in America, it is more possible for us to turn the narrative about Islam and Muslims in a positive spirit. That is all that I'm trying to say in this detail. If America can accept something very is not accepted socially, every single thing that we have to offer in Islam is socially accepted, needed, regarded as something beautiful. Everybody long for it. The only thing is that their ignorance about this beautiful religion. And there is nobody but ourselves responsible because we have talked about the beauty of Islam within our own four walls. We have not undertaken the responsibility of giving dawah, inviting others towards Islam. We are ourselves are ashamed or sometimes shy or sometimes don't even feel it is our duty to talk to others about Islam and Muslims. Others are doing it, and certainly the results are not going to be good. So my beloved, in the interest of time, since you lend me your undivided attention, I want to beg of you to do the following. Make dua, first and foremost, the mosque protect us, our families, our progeny until the day of judgment. May Allah accept us, our children, our progeny, till the day of judgment to serve this beautiful thing. And make dua and have this kind of dialogues and talk on the dinner table with your children daily once. Don't be shy about talking about this stuff, because if you're not doing it, talking somebody else is doing it. You rather be the first one to talk about it, so you can keep your children out of this. Second, support your community. Have a masajid, an organization that would not only offer 5 times daily prayers, but would have a think tank, leadership development courses for the youth. Have the visionaries be created from within the community. Have the vision to identify whose child, who's the member of the community who have the great talent and potential to be the future leader. Come together as a community and groom that individual. Support them with the resources and see them in the public offices that you desire. Aspire and encourage community members to take part in the local library, other departments of the public offices. It is the local offices that make the decision that affects you directly. 2024 election may be lost for Muslims. But should we be just sitting ducks, or should we plan for 2023 election? All of these things are possible. I just gave you an example. If they can do these things within a small span of time, while masses are still was against them, you and I can do, because we have nothing wrong to offer to the people. If anything, wherever Muslim Americans moved in the community becomes better. The crime goes low, the alcohol is low, the traffic, the public resources have been utilization is low, because there is not much activities are going on in terms of illegal. So we are but a peacemaker and peace spreader. So let us use this, connect with our neighbors. I did this at our masjid, Unity Islamic Center. That masjid happened to be in the midst of the Jewish and the Christian neighborhood. This church was the church that was utilized by both Christians and Jews. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows to purchase. I did not want us to be looked as a different. We named specifically that masjid as a Unity Islamic Center. The first event that I did at the masjid, Unity Fest, neighbor meet and greet. No da'wah, no flyers, no Quran is distributed. You just come to our masjid and eat with us. Right there and then on our property, neighbors who are living for 12, 15 years in the same neighborhood, never met, was able to meet. Who provided this opportunity? Us. That is how we want to connect. These are the small steps and practical steps. When we had any situation, these neighbors would be out there to help us out. 91-year-old man came to the walk and asked for help. We have any, I know the community is very diverse. Do you have anybody from Turkey? We said, we don't at this time present, but we know somebody who has a community. Then I asked, very much asked, and I asked, why do you ask specifically Turkey? He said, I'm a Jew. And we were rescued by Turkish people. And I was one of them who were in Turkey and came back here. And I always feel Muslims are good people. What a statement coming from a 91-year-old man. It would not have been possible had I not invited them and gave them the opportunity to speak. These are the things are out there waiting for us to open the door, and you will give them the opportunity to come to you. So inshallah, without further ado, I do not want to take much time of yours. Do whatever you can, inshallah. Strengthen the iman of your children. Take the commitment from them never to sell their iman, never to compromise in the matter of religion, and die as a Muslim. Don't compromise in the matter of religion. Second, establish yourself financially, support your institution as much as possible, because having a masjid built is not a goal in itself. It's not a destination. It's just a beginning. It's a launch pad from which you will do a lot more work. But if you spend your entire lifetime in just establishing a masjid, when will you actually do the work? Don't expect future generations to do the work. It is you and I who have the aches and pain and feel the burning desire to have the masjid, knows the value what the masjid can deliver. So while you're still able and strong, finish this project and do something and put system in place for the future generation to follow. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. If we talk, it will continue on and on. Subhanallah, bihamdihi, subhanallah, bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.